Hello everyone and welcome back to another Relink video. If you're like me, then you may have realized that you need an amount of materials to upgrade and build multiple characters. Today, I'll show you how to set up your game and party to successfully AFK clear missions from easy to proud. I'll also be covering the most common endgame material bottlenecks, such as weapon XP, boss parts, sigils, and high-end items like silver centrums, along with my favorite stages to farm them. So welcome to my guide to AFK farming. Alright, so let's begin. For missions of extreme difficulty and below, you can set your game to full assist mode. To set this up, go to the main menu, then game options, and under gameplay, set assist mode to full assist mode. This will make your main character auto battle anything that comes within range, though keep in mind that it will not move your character. While you're here, set the skybound art activation to immediately so that your bots will use their SPAs when their gauge is full instead of waiting around for yours. Then, during a mission, press the chat tools button and make sure your crew SPA mode is set to auto. You'll know you've successfully done this if you get a chat bubble above your head saying use SPA when needed. This only has to be done once, so after it's set up, you're good to go. From Maniac and onward, assist mode will be disabled, making you deadweight that the AI have to carry. Because of this, lesser geared teams should farm missions on extreme and below until stronger. These quests will need to be farmed anyway, since some materials are exclusive to the lower difficulties, so don't feel like your time spent in hard through extreme is wasted. Okay, so just how do we prepare our party for AFK farming? For extreme difficulty and below, there really isn't much to change. Just grab your main story character, pop on full assist mode, and AFK with your team of choice. On Maniac and Proud, I suggest creating a special tank build for your main character to reduce your likelihood of dying. To do this, start by making your HP and regen as high as possible. The Defender series weapon, the one every character starts with, grants HP and garrison, so it's the ideal weapon for this. Make sure you get the associated collection masteries as well, since they grant a large chunk of health. If you have the extra resources, you can also imbue it with a fortification rightstone or add mirage munitions to give yourself even more health. A quick note that you don't have to be stingy with your munitions because you can always remove and reuse them at any time. Finally, take Cravesment returns and use health and Aegis sigils to help you reach the cap of 99,999 health. After that, you'll want to add regen, auto revive, and guts to your build. Regen will allow you to heal for up to 5k health every 3 seconds at health cap, and is the most important trait to get once you reach the max health. Guts will prevent the first killing blow, and when our health finally reaches 0, auto revive will heal us back to half, giving the AI more time to blast before having to come scrape us up off the ground. Although Guts kicks in first, if you're forced to choose, go for auto revive first since it heals you on activation. Finally, we fill the remaining slots with damage reduction traits. Some notable ones are Stronghold and Garrison, which increase your defense at a high and low HP respectively, Stout Heart, a sigil with a hidden passive providing a 25% damage reduction, and Steel Nerves, which, used in conjunction with Stout Heart, grants up to 15% damage reduction. For missions with high amounts of burn and blight damage, you can take their respective resistance traits. Maxed out, these traits grant full immunity to the dot and is an effective way to negate that damage. Our teammates will be carrying us, so gear them even more offensively than you would yourself. The AI dodges attacks better than politicians do questions, so traits like Glass Cannon and Nimble Onslaught are extremely effective. We can largely skimp on the defensives for the AI, but I still recommend giving them more than 30k HP for the more difficult Proud missions. If you'd like more detailed information on character-specific skill builds and sigils, you can check out my video on optimizing your AFK team, which I've included a link to in the description below. Don't worry if you don't have the weapons or sigils to perfectly replicate some of the builds, they're more like endgame goals. Just equip your characters with the best of what you have. Once you have your party set up, I suggest saving your party loadout so that you can quickly use it to farm whenever you need to step away. To do this, select Party from the main menu, press Party Sets, and save your party loadout. This saves everything about the party state, including sigils, skills, and weapons of every character, and is definitely not something I just learned after 350 hours of gameplay. Anyway, when you're ready to begin farming, simply start a closed mission, wait for it to clear, and on the reward screen, choose to repeat it. After that, you're free to AFK. The mission will repeat 10 times before the game will remove your auto-repeat status and send you back to town. If you happen to catch the reward screen on the 10th run, you can have your team do another set. Unfortunately, attempting to refresh the repeat status before the completion of the set will not reset the run counter. So now that we know how to set up our AFK team, what can we actually farm? There are a couple constraints when choosing a mission to auto. Because the point of AFK farming is that it's hands-off, we need to choose missions that don't require us to move anywhere. This means no survival or exploration missions, and it also rules out Slimepede. Although Slimepede is a great mission to manually farm and grind, the AI will not attack the slimes unless they are already engaged, which won't happen while we're AFK. Regardless, almost every endgame material has a mission that we can AFK farm, so we have plenty of others to choose from. Because there are so many different materials in the game, it can be hard to keep track of where they drop. Relink actually has a wishlist system that's surprisingly good for tracking those materials and finding the quests that drop them. To use the wishlist, press the details button to navigate the list of items, hover over the item you need, and press the add to/remove from wishlist button. From there, confirm that you want to add to wishlist and you now have the item saved. To find where it drops, go to the quest counter, select Undertake Quest, and then press the Search by Treasure button at the bottom. After that, you should see your wishlisted items, so select the one you want to farm, and a list of quests will pop up. If you're working on a lot of weapons, the most frequent bottlenecks are silver centrums and fortification crystals. Early on, you might find yourself short on exceptional ruthenium, but those stack up quickly as you do your Maniac and Proud missions. Speaking of which, you can trade for ruthenium and other materials at Siero's treasure trade, so make sure you check to see if you can trade for what you need. If you're interested in AFK farming but have concerns about the difficulty, you should set up your teams and just give it a shot anyway. You do not need perfect, fully upgraded teams to clear any quest, although a handful of the hardest Proud missions will require more prep than others. If you don't know where to start, here are some missions you can try farming that drop useful materials. In Hard, you have Delts of Our Lives for Great Shield Fragments and Chieftain's Braids, Protect the Rep for Lambeast Claws, and Drumsticks Al Griffin for Griffin Feathers. In Very Hard, you have the Next Hot Topic for Flamebeast Claws. Extreme has a fantastic quest for weapon XP called Shedding Light on the Pillar. The difficulty is low, making it a great mission to AFK for medium and large fortification crystals until you can reliably farm Prouds. Maniac difficulty is where every mission starts to have the chance to drop silver centrums. Many of the drops are needed for various things in the endgame and do not have a Proud difficulty alternative, meaning you'll find yourself to be a frequent flyer with some of these quests. Eyesight on the Holy Prize drops Chilling Demon Eyes and is also very quick due to the nature of the small arena. Hope in the Machine is the only source of Tayuitar head units used for many different sigil upgrades. Know Your Enemy has the Tayuitar Mark II, which drops Ukar cores, Judgment Prongs, Swivel Cannons, and Extension Bracers. Id Bears Repeating is your only source of Id Anamnesis and Protector's Pride. As an added bonus, it has a chance to drop Destrudo, which you'll need for the final uncap of some weapons. In Saga Illustrated Hellfire, you can obtain the Dreaded Tail as a rare drop from Vulcan Bola. In Proud, you have many options on what you can do depending on the strength of your team. A lot of these missions have additional rewards that aren't mentioned, so keep that in mind. Trade Barriers, Melting Pot of Hostility, and Banquet of Ice and Corpses are 3 quests that have a boss plus 2 dials of some kind. These 3 are my go-to missions to farm if I don't need any material in particular, because they give a good amount of large fortification crystals and their respective elemental horns. You can trade 8 of each horn at Siero's shop for a silver centrum, so combined with the innate chance of getting one as a drop, you can earn them very quickly. The next 6 are a big jump in difficulty, so make sure your team is adequately prepared. I highly recommend making sure your main character is HP capped before doing any of these, and if you feel like you're dying a lot, feel free to tech in healing skills or consider Caglio for her res skill. Remember, even if it's a slower clear, if you're leaving it on before better work, you'll still come back to 10 quests worth of rewards. The Wolf in the Veil is done primarily for Silverwolf Clovis and Cutthroat Fangs. Calamity Incarnate, as fierce as the Silver Wolf, and Memories of Fire drop Nihila Cast Sword, Nihila Horn of Disdain, Nihila Fused Dark Plasma, and their respective Omega Animas. The Automagod Strikes Back drops mana circuits, lunary cells, and chrono cores, and the Tale of Bahamut's Rage has terminus weapons and divinity shackles. Keep in mind that there's a lot of variance with this quest, even for decked out teams, so monitor your team closely before committing to AFKing this one. Another thing worth mentioning is that you can somewhat target farm level 5 plus sigils. The game only lists 2 5 plus sigil drops per mission, but most of them have more that aren't listed. For example, Fireworm can drop damage cap 5+, but it isn't mentioned anywhere in the game. Here are some 5+ sigils and the associated quests that I've personally confirmed to drop them. Into the Abyss has Quick Charge, Charged Attack, and Crit Rate. Melting Pot of Hostility for damage cap, Concentrated Fire, and Tyranny. Memories of Fire for Charged Attack, Lucky Charge, Quick Charge, and Link Together. And finally, the Tale of Bahamut's Rage for damage cap, Tyranny, Stamina, and combo booster as well. If you'd like to find out other drop locations, InfexiousBand made a handy tool to search for sigil drops with information compiled from the community. I'll put the link in the description. Remember, the ultimate goal is to have fun, so AFK the quests that you find boring or monotonous and save the good ones to play yourself. That just about wraps it up. If you found the guide helpful or have anything to share, please let me know down in the comments below. Also, a quick shout out to everyone who has taken the time to like or leave a comment. I really like hearing from you guys and it motivates me to continue making and improving my guides. So thank you so much, take care, and happy hunting.